welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I am Stacey Earlywine, and fall is wonderful.
Fall is lovely.
I do believe that this time of year is my favorite, and we have had the best fall.
We have. It's been beautiful. The trees have been perfect.
Oh,
the weather's
yeah.
been pretty good, and
It's been fantastic.
I've loved every minute of it. I know
have
some people
too.
will complain, but they always do.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
No, I think it's been great. I told you about my girlfriends and I. We went to Eureka Springs. And
Yeah.
the leaves were beautiful. A friend of mine's daughter got married, so actually I traveled to Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Oh, fun.
Pittsburgh, 7 hours away, and the leaves were spectacular.
Yeah.
Still on. Literally, they looked like our decorations here
Wow.
today.
What a great time of year to travel.
Oh, it was wonderful.
In car.
And they're
see
still
things.
there.
Yeah.
They were still there. They weren't blowing
That's
off.
the thing. Like some years, a big storm comes along and just blows everything off pretty early. And this year, it's they're still hanging on. Most trees.
Question. When you rake your leaves, are you a burner or a bagger?
I'm a burner. I'm a burner, and a lot of people complain about burning leaves, and I don't really care. But it makes it quick and easy. And to be honest, we don't have very many leaves because we don't own any trees.
Yeah.
But we have neighbors that own trees, and you know how it is when you live in town. The wind and they just migrate to our yard. It's not the fault of the neighbors. It's just that's nature.
Yeah.
So when you live in town, you just
just
naturally
do it.
have leaves, And I mean, yeah, I get it. There's a guy that comes around and sucks up all the leaves into the sucker-upper thing, but I find burning them pretty satisfying.
Yeah, I don't mind burning leaves, and we can still burn in town, right?
Yeah, and
they didn't
just
make
not
it where
after. You're not supposed to burn after dark.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like the way our house, we don't have any. We don't. Well, first of all, tornadoes have taken down a couple of my trees back in the past, but the other person that's taken them down was Jim Earlywine.
Oh,
because the trees we had were either those horrible big walnut trees, or them gumball trees.
Yeah,
they're beautiful. Oh my gosh, I had two of them in my yard. They're as yellow can be, but them gumballs are a nightmare.
My neighbor Ashley, she has gumball trees, and they are beautiful, and they provide her family so much shade. I don't even know how many she has, 4 or 5 probably.
I'm gonna have to go by there today.
She has a beautiful shaded yard, but they have this love-hate relationship with those trees because their whole yard will be covered by these gumballs. And she has, 3 little boys, and they all have to go out there with the wagon and start raking up those gumballs constantly. And yeah, it's just not really worth the work, in my opinion.
No, it's not. We took them
down.
I
love trees. I'm not a person that's always advocating for cutting trees down.
Oh, no, I want to keep trees.
I'm a tree lover.
Me too.
But
they were a mess.
What are your favorite trees? Do you have a favorite tree in town? Like you drive by and you're like, oh, that's my favorite tree.
Actually, yes, and it's right on the corner of my street, Fair Avenue in Austin, and it's just the most perfect. And nobody ever cuts it. It's big, it's beautiful, and then it's fantastic. It's beautiful. Actually, when we bought our house back in 1990, we looked at it in the fall, and it was the most beautiful. When you turned down our road, it turned as red as those flowers right there. It was beautiful. It was one reason why I really loved my house was because of that tree. And it was it was the first one to turn and the last one to fall off, and it was fantastic. It even kind of shaded the road a little bit. Stupid tornado came by to get down, but anyway. But that one on the corner is there. There's several. I'm going to drive around today.
Yeah, I have a favorite one. It's an evergreen tree, and it's on North Avenue. It's in the front yard of Rod and Jody Engelmeyer's yard, and it is a great, big, beautiful evergreen. And their daughter Elizabeth brought it home from school. They told me this story one year as just a little bitty start, and they planted it out there. And I like to name trees. Like there's certain trees I'll drive by and I'll be like, "That's Betty." That's I just. I know, right? But anyway, so we decided that tree's name should be Elizabeth. So when I drive by and that tree it's splendid. I'm like, oh, there's the Elizabeth tree.
I'm going to have to drive by there, yeah.
It's a really pretty one. And then another tree I love is right inside the gate of Charlie Brown Park, the front gate, and it turns bright yellow. It's a ginkgo tree. That thing, it stinks to high heaven if you get close to it, but it is beautiful in the fall.
So many of our trees, Colonel Parsons planted. He planted a lot of our trees.
And, my brother lives out in that closer to the tennis courts, out where Parsons. feeling like General Parsons planted them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just awesome.
But I
he
don't
had
know that.
to have, yeah.
I'm just
I don't know. I
daydreaming.
love
But-
them too. I love all the trees and everything. Well, I think the fall's been fantastic. I love it. It's beautiful. I don't want it to go away.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. And I've always said that if I could live my life, I would have 7 months of fall and 5 months of July.
Oh.
I like it hot, and I like it right now. Yeah, I know you'd slay
I'm the
Beth.
opposite on that, but that's okay. But, I mean,
That's literally about the only thing we're really different on.
I know.
I know, it's kind of weird, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I don't love July at all.
I love July.
Oh gosh!
you
But if
do
I had
too.
a really nice pool in my backyard and the time to just float every day, I might be able to
You
fall
would-
in love with July.
That's the only reason why I love July. I'm a floater.
Shoot, you know what's coming up though?
What?
Veterans Day.
Yes, Veterans Day.
And I want to take a minute to thank all of the veterans out there that are watching, and thank you for your service, and we appreciate you. And also thanks to their families, because you know the families have to sacrifice a lot too.
Oh boy, I don't know. I can't imagine. My family's big. We're big veterans, and yeah, I don't know. It's just they give so much.
They do.
You know?
I'm so thankful for our military.
Oh my gosh,
past,
me too.
present, future.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a big military
Gotta have
supporter.
them.
Big military supporter all the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday, I kind of did a fun thing. So Ruthie Welty from the American Legion in Flora, she does this. I wouldn't call it a cemetery tour thing, but she does a Veterans Day cemetery presentation for fifth graders in Clay County. So anybody, and Wayne County, because Sisney was invited too. So any fifth graders, homeschool, Full Armor, Flora classrooms, Louisville classrooms, Clay City, they all attend this field trip, and they come at different times. She has them scheduled throughout the morning. So about every 10 minutes, another busload drops off a group of fifth graders, and then they walk through Elmwood Cemetery to different veterans' graves.
Oh.
And then there is someone at each of the veterans' graves that talks about that veteran.
I love
and
it.
each war is represented. So there's Sons of the American Revolution were there, and they were talking about flags and the different flags from 1776 to now. And then there was a group of, there was a Civil War, what do you call that? Portrayal. And then there was people from, Vietnam War and World War II, and someone representing World War I and Iraq, and all of these people came together. And it's really interesting. There was even, I think, an armored truck out there this year that like they used in Iraq. But it's
Wow.
really awesome for the fifth graders. It's a great learning experience. And then I go every year and portray Betsy Ross. And talk about Betsy Ross and how she made the very first flag.
I have a question. So you're talking fifth graders.
Yes.
And fifth graders can be slightly rowdy. Does it keep their attention? Are they pretty
Yes.
silent through
So
it?
I'm the very first stop. So they're all very attentive at my stop. There's always a few kids in the background that look bored, because I think those kids would be bored if you threw them into the middle of Disney World. There are some
probably.
kids that would just be like, yeah, this is it, huh?
Yeah.
But for the most part, like, the kids were very enthusiastic. They're very polite. They're very quiet. They listen. The teachers are right there next to them, in case there is a problem. But I mean, they're just so well behaved. I mean, it would make our county proud to know how well these fifth graders acted.
That's awesome.
But I will say that at the end of my spiel, so I speak as I'm Betsy Ross, like, hello, I am Betsy Ross. I am the first woman that made the American flag, and I was born Elizabeth Griscom in 1752, but I went by Betsy. And I tell them the whole life story of Betsy as if I'm Betsy, and I'm dressed as Betsy. That's how we do it in the cemetery tour in Shadows of Elmwood. And there are always a few kids in every group that are completely terrified. They think I am a ghost.
Oh.
They think I am really her, born in 1752, and either I never died, I got that question, or I did die, and now I'm back from the dead visiting for the day.
No way.
Yes, and they are not being funny. They are completely terrified. Their faces are as white as this sheet. They look like they're shaking in their boots, and they are like, "Wait, are you dead? Are you still dead, or are you alive?" I mean, it
That's
is the
crazy.
craziest thing. Parents, for the love of everything good, please teach your children what a portrayal is and about how some people portray somebody in first person. It doesn't mean they really are that person. It's
Right.
just but dang, am I a good actress or what?
You are, and you look good
for my age, I look great.
300
I
years
came
old.
home and I told my husband, like, man, I think I deserve an Oscar because apparently I'm that good.
You are that good.
I am that good. They think I am really Betsy Ross.
Oh my God.
Every year I get, and yesterday it happened 5 times, 5 different groups.
Now,
5 different groups had that question.
Really?
Yes.
Somebody in every group had a question like that.
Well, there was more than 5 groups, but yes, almost every group.
That's funny. That's a little odd.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of those kids, because like we have a lot of young kids that come on the Shadows of Elmwood, don't we?
Yeah. I wonder if they ask their parents, is that really them? But then at least the parent is there and was like, no, that's not really them. That's an actor. You know? But some kids just, I don't know, they haven't been exposed, I guess, and I need to cut them some slack. But I personally believe that the world doesn't have common sense like it used to.
It doesn't.
And
well, we're going to take a commercial break. We come back, we're going to do our ad, talk a little bit about this time change. Then we're going to get to our story.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas,
What?
you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
And welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Early Wine, and we've been talking about goodness.
Everything fun and cemeteries and Veterans Day and
Veterans Day and this time change. I am a fallbacker.
I'm a fallbacker. I'm team fallback.
I'm team fallback.
I love it.
I do too. I feel robbed for 6 months after we spring forward.
I know.
And I never get, everybody's like, oh, it takes me forever to get you. How could you get used to this one? You get an extra
This
hour.
one, yeah.
They take it away from you.
This one is great because
I love it.
I like it when it gets dark early in the evenings. I've said that before on the show, but I like the cozy evenings at home with my family. I like everyone being inside and it's nice and warm and good food. But I also like it when it's light when I wake up in the morning.
Me too.
It's so much easier to wake up.
Agreed.
Even my kids, they're awake, they're ready to go. We're not running behind.
I
And I
want
know
fall-
it doesn't last like the whole year, but I
want
like it right
fallback
now.
forever. Now, are they leaving? Okay, it's too many stories about falling back. I have heard rumors that now that we've fallen back, we're not ever springing forward again.
Well,
has anybody heard that?
I haven't heard
Anybody?
it, but I hope that it's true.
I hope it's true. I just despise that spring forward.
I do too. And like in Arizona,
Just
they don't
saying.
do daylight savings time in Arizona at
I don't
all.
get
There's
it.
several states that don't.
Yeah, I never did understand it.
I don't No, I've tried to understand it.
It's a pain because then if you got an appointment in Vincennes,
oh
or
gosh,
you're flying out of Indy. We missed a plane one time. Didn't even think about it. Flying out of Indy one time.
I think, and my kids will tell you this too. Like this is almost a direct quote from my daughter Malia. She's like, "Mom, you are so smart. Like you can figure out anything." Except time differences between Illinois and Indiana. And I'm like, I know. I have to like write it down in my notes. Like if I have a flight in Indianapolis, like I have to write it down and then I have to check with my husband to make sure that my notes are correct. And like same thing with a dentist appointment and Vincennes and stuff. And it's like, I've been late to one before because I had it backwards instead of thinking are they an hour behind or an hour?
Don't even ask.
I don't know. I go the wrong way every time. I'm like, if it's 2:00 here, then it's 1:00 there. No, it would be the opposite. I don't know.
Now, once
which
we
way
change,
it is,
though,
but one way or the other,
sometimes we're
I'm
on the
always wrong.
same. Sometimes we're on the same time as them, right?
I don't know. I just go to Evansville.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with the St. Louis area.
So Evansville. The thing about Indiana is the whole state isn't all on the same time zone.
Right.
So like Indiana,
it's weird. Okay,
Evansville is central time zone, and then like up north by just not very far north because Vincennes only is like 45 minutes north of there. They're on Eastern. But I was told once that Indiana, whenever they decided to do the daylight savings or whatever, that each county got to pick which time zone they wanted to be on.
Oh, my Lanta.
So that is why the whole state is different.
Well, okay, so have you ever been to Chattanooga?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how Chattanooga winds up in that? It's like Chattanooga, Georgia. So it's like, here, I took this road. Oh, I'm in Chattanooga. I'm in Tennessee. Oh, no, I went to Georgia now. Oh, wait a minute. I'm back over here. I went across the street. I'm in Tennessee. It winds and winds and winds, and a time zone in every corner.
I know. Well, the last time I was in Chattanooga, and we went up to the top of the mountain.
I love Chattanooga. Chattanooga rules. It's an awesome town.
It was just Silas and I. Jason was in a shooting competition nearby, but Silas and I took a side trip to Chattanooga, went up the mountain, and we were just like watching on my phone like how many times the time zone changed because your phone does it automatically.
Yeah, it's insane. My phone was like, stay put. I don't know, just kind of cool. Okay, let's get to our ads.
Okay,
I'm telling you, the fall brings so much.
What are we talking about?
I picked this ad. It's a Chanel number 5.
Oh my gosh, I wore that for years.
I love this. Okay, why do I love this? Okay, Chanel's been around since the 20s. Okay, so Chanel's been around for 100 years. Okay, they haven't changed a thing.
No. But why would you?
Not,
my bottle of Chanel number 5, which is now empty, and if anyone needs a Christmas idea gift for me, that would be a good one because I'm out. But my bottle looked exactly like that, and it was not old. It was fairly recent.
The ads, I found ads from the 20s, and it was Chanel. And I'm thinking, thank you, Chanel, because I don't like brand changes. I don't, because then it's not recognizable.
Right. But today there's so many companies that are always like changing their brand. Like I'm going to change the brand and you know, get new followers and like.
Well, Chanel is timeless. And
I love timeless. And I love that they recognize that they're timeless and stick with it and don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, and then they make everything so. It used to make my granny Doris Franklin. She would get so mad because she loved Tide, and I'll never forget the day she's like, if it new and improved. She says they knew and improved this silly thing every 5 years, and she said it's the same stuff, nothing changes. It's like, why do we feel like we have to? I don't know. Sometimes I think advertisers think we're stupid.
Yeah,
because I don't know, but I just came across that ad, and I'm like, you know what? Good for you, Chanel.
Yeah. Good for you.
Same bottle, same writing, same. Nothing's changed, and I like it.
I like it too. That's a good one.
I sell Paul Mitchell at the hair salon, and they have this product called the Wild Ginger shampoo and conditioner. When it came out, it was in a black bottle. Okay, perfect, whatever. It's not black anymore. They've completely changed it. It's in a light turquoise, which it's almost in the same bottle type that they've got a whole other, the Clean Beauty. It's like.
Make it all confusing.
Yeah. Why did you have to change that? Why did you change the packaging?
Well, because I have a theory.
I need to call.
Okay, so some of the people that are in marketing, they feel like in order to keep their jobs, they have to constantly change things, so it makes them look like they're doing something.
Yeah, you're
because
probably right.
If they are stagnant and they're not constantly changing something to improve the numbers, then it looks like they're not doing their job and they're not needed and they would lose their job. So instead, they just constantly reinvent.
Yeah, you're right.
It's annoying.
That's it. It is annoying. Well, anyway, now we're going to get to our story today.
Okay, and our story is about the Pure Milk Company of Flora.
Yes,
so we're going to
Flora
talk
Pure
about
Milk. Got milk?
Got milk? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a nice marketing.
That was
Speaking
good
of
marketing. They hit the nail on the head with that one.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Pure Milk Factory. I love auctions. I have one of the bottles, but the one I have, I didn't bring it because I've done something with it. It's put up somewhere. I don't know, but it comes and it's like different writing than what some of the ones we have here are.
Okay, yeah,
But,
some of these are not from the Pure Milk Company.
Yeah.
This one right here is. I don't know if Ty can zoom in on this. This one. This was the.
to the left, baby doll.
Yeah, not that one. My hand's on it if you want to scooch over.
Do, 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 da, da, da.
This one. And it's hard to see because it's
you can't
clear.
see it. It's clear.
But it does say, there we go. Give it a minute to focus. Pure milk liquid, I believe it says.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Ty. It's not going to show up good, but it does say
You read it?
1 quart liquid, Flora, pure milk, pasteurized, Flora, Illinois, registered. It says at the bottom. The back of the bottle says store bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the Flora
Okay.
Pure Milk Company.
Okay.
It was the only home-owned dairy in Flora and one of the oldest in an old industry continuously operated by the same owners.
Okay. Who owned it?
It was built in 1930.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. The new industry in Flora, modern pasteurizing plant was erected. Reportedly, this was something Flora had needed for years. It started in two young men from Ohio, L.E. McCummins and Lester Garver, bought a lot at East 2nd and Sycamore Street.
Okay.
And contracted
so let's
with
stop
Sam
there.
Brighton.
East 2nd and Sycamore. So
Yeah, let's
over
think.
by like Angie Borelli's
Yeah.
State Farm, that area.
I'm
the Barber
thinking
Dental.
that where Martin Printing was at. I always remember that big green building as Martin Printing. I believe it's like on the opposite. There's an empty lot there now because it was actually.
I bet there's people that would remember whether it's that
Oh, yeah.
empty lot or maybe it was where Martin Printing was.
Well, I
maybe
don't-
that building.
Well, no, because it was a 30 by 50 foot brick building
Oh, okay.
on the lot.
Okay.
So it wasn't real big. Yeah, 30 by 50 foot brick building. So it's got to be gone. It was completed in May of 1930. A local citizen related that they had purchased a roll-top deck at an auction. The unique thing about this desk was the writing found on the top part of the desk. It said, property of Flora Pure Milk Company. And it had the two gentlemen's name, McCummon and Garver. How fun would that be if you're at a...
Yeah, I wonder where it went. Wonder where it is now.
I don't know. Yeah. I would say, like I said, it's definitely not there anymore. That building. It has to be there. It was gone before I was born. But anyway, so like I said, it was located on the corner of Sycamore and East because like you've got the big green building here, and then I think it's like that would be what the southeast corner that's an empty lot now that just sold, by the way. And then you have the two older homes on there. One's the historic marker. The house, the big, beautiful yellow house on that corner.
Yeah,
It's
the
so
Harrison.
pretty. The Harrison house. Plus, the Pure Milk Company also was called the Flora Pup Mile, where you could buy ice cream.
Oh.
So they not only had where you could buy milk, they could buy ice cream, and you could buy a double dip ice cream cone at the Flora Pup Mile Pure Milk Factory for 5 cents.
Nice.
Nice. Well, nice.
Yeah.
The equipment for this modern pasteurizing milk plant was the very latest, including the pasteurizing boiler, refrigerator outfit, bottle washer and filler, and all the necessary machinery for a first-class plant. So the day of the milkman, we must have just missed it.
Yeah, so I have information on that, like on the, kind of
Let's
the whole
talk about
hit.
that
Let's
a
talk
little
about
bit.
that for a minute. So actually in 1878, George Henry Lester, which is funny because that guy in Flora's name was Lester, his first name.
Yeah.
But this guy's last name was Lester, and he's the one that patented the first glass jar intended to hold milk.
Really?
It featured a glass lid that was held onto the jar by a metal clamp. And in the same year that he invented his milk jar, the Brooklyn milk dealer, Alex Campbell, was credited with first selling milk in experimental glass bottles. So it was all around this 1878 time that the whole glass milk bottle thing was starting. And that's kind of when milkmen
Came
made
to
it
be.
easier for milkmen to make their delivery. So when milkmen would deliver, some people had an insulated box sitting on their porch, like a little cooler, or milk boxes that were built into the side of the house.
Really?
And
Ooh,
I
that's
think they had
interesting.
like a little double door so that the milk guy could put the milk in, and then on the inside you could open the door and pull your milk in. And it says some older homes still have milk boxes to this day. Now, I have
wow.
not been in one that had a milk box.
Me either, but that's cool. I wonder
But
if there's one in town.
I don't know. I would love to like tour an old home that did have a milk box.
Because the homes, yeah.
But
Well,
milk delivery started to decline because of grocery stores and home refrigeration. So by the 1930s and 40s, almost every home had a refrigerator. So fridges replaced ice boxes, and that was the first step in the decline of milk delivery. But that doesn't mean we still didn't need our milk plant. It just means that's kind of
Right.
slowly, when it started to slowly decline, more people just went and bought it.
so I wonder, like,
They
with
didn't need it delivered as often because they could keep it cold longer at home.
yeah,
Because it used to be people delivered milk, I think, daily.
daily. So it'd be
Because
literally delivering milk would be like getting your mail.
Yeah, that's how busy the milkmen were. And a lot of places, the milkmen would just go on inside the house. They didn't have to knock or anything. They would just walk on in and set it into the ice box, like back when people had ice boxes. That, to me, is weird.
Okay.
Because you could be busy doing things and not know that the milkman was downstairs.
Well, let's take a commercial break, and we will talk more about that interesting fact. That is kind of different. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be. Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about milk and the Flora Milk Company.
Yeah, and
Pure Milk Company, I think
I
it's
was
called.
reading a little bit ahead of my notes, and they said, back in the Flora Milk Company was built in 1930, and sometimes it said that they made 2 deliveries a day. The milkman would do morning and evening and afternoon deliveries, because that wouldn't be, of course. People don't go. I mean, you got a son at home. I mean, when the boys were home, we would go through gallons. 2 or 3 gallons a week, but this is not very much.
Yes.
You know?
It's not.
But they were making 2 deliveries a day.
There maybe they had bigger size bottles too. I don't know if that was the largest.
I don't know, but we were talking about I didn't realize that houses had milk. Let's talk a little bit about that, Beth.
So there were milk boxes built into the sides of some of the older homes. Not any locally, but we did find a couple of pictures online of this. These are not local homes, but here's one here. You can see this, the Ty's kind of circling it right there. That white box by the red door, that's the milk box.
And that house doesn't look old, Beth.
Well, I bet that's a lot older house than what you
is.
think. But yeah. And so the milkman would just open that, put the milk right inside that little white door, and then someone on the inside could open it from their end and then grab the milk. And here we go. This is a milk box up close. So how cool.
I had no idea that's how that worked.
And it says something inside like milk reserve or something like.
Yeah, and is that is it cold in there?
Well, it almost looks like it would be
like there's a temperature thing in there.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's interesting.
Yeah, so let's just talk about how the milkman could just come inside.
Yeah, that's really all I know. And I found that information when I was researching ice boxes, when we talked about ice boxes on that one episode.
Well, now when we go inside, we lock our houses right behind us. Back then, people probably didn't.
I mean, it would be kind of like the mail lady just coming in and laying your mail on your counter for you.
Yeah.
That's weird. And I like my mail ladies, but that's still weird.
That is a little odd. Okay.
So back then, glass milk bottles, that's how everything was packaged up until about the 1950s. That is when plastic containers and wax paper cartons slowly began to replace all of the glass bottles.
Because it's really heavy.
But not all of them. There were still some companies that insisted the milk tasted better in glass, and there were some consumers who only wanted their milk in glass. They didn't want plastic. So there were some dairies that still continued to use glass, but in the cities, mainly the paper cartons and the plastic were beginning to.
Well, I've got here in my notes too. It says so the milk company. It was only 1 month later where they decided to start making the ice cream.
Okay.
And the ice cream was now being manufactured.
Okay.
And it was considered a first-class product. The company purchased milk from dairymen. And after it was pasteurized, it was cooled in big refrigerators, bottled, and sold. Each bottles were of glass and with embossed labels. Flora Pure Milk around the top of the rims always said, "A bottle of milk is a bottle of health."
It does. I didn't even notice it, but it is right, and you're not going to even be able to zoom in to see this.
Let me see.
But it does say right around the rim, it says a bottle of milk is a bottle of health.
I got to see that.
I wouldn't have even noticed it, but you can see
because
it.
I've got one at home too. My eyes are bad. Holy cow.
Holy cow. We learn something new every day. It was right there on the rim, and I didn't even know it.
How neat is that? Now, my milk is more square, because we're going to talk a little bit about this. My bottle's square, and mine's got black writing on it.
Okay, well, there was different styles throughout the years.
And mine wasn't that big.
This is an earlier one, I think. And it also says store bottle. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Yeah.
If that was something that they... yeah, it even has a date on it. It says sealed 1/11/14. So January 11th, 1914 is when this bottle was made.
How neat is that?
That's super cool.
That's really cool.
I've had this in my kitchen for years. I never read it.
You had no idea. Where's these? This is Chester. What's happening in Chester?
Okay, so these other milk bottles are from the Chester Dairy, and that was kind of a very similar operation in Chester, Illinois, but it got even bigger than the Flora Pure Milk, and they shipped milk all over. Although, I want to say something about the Flora Pure Milk. Flora did too. A lot of their stuff was put on trains and shipped.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of their milk and cream products.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a little bit more about the Chester Dairy because Chester Dairy, all of their milk went to the Farm Fresh milk stores.
Okay.
So Flora did not have a Farm Fresh milk store. They were all over southern Illinois. The farthest north store was in Salem. It recently closed in the past 5 years, and there's a nail salon there now. Okay, but those Farm Fresh milk stores still sold milk in glass bottles like this one up until I don't know if it's even been 5 years, but within the last 5 years, they stopped and they went out of production. But they were still selling glass milk bottles. And so my family lived in Harrisburg. My parents ran the Farm Fresh milk store in Harrisburg, but my dad was higher up in the Chester Dairy Company where he supervised a whole section of the Southern Illinois stores and went from store to store and was kind of over the whole section.
He worked. Okay.
And so I knew a lot about Chester Dairy, and it was owned by a man that we referred to as Mr. Kraft with a K, and he had owned this dairy for years and years and ran it, but it had been around as long or longer than. And I'm looking to see if any of these have any dates, but sealed. This was a half pint bottle. I don't have a date, but and
this one doesn't have a date either.
This one probably had like cream or something like that in it.
Yeah, 'cause that's a little bitty bottle. That'd be like cream for your coffee.
This is a gallon bottle. So when we ran the store, there were people that would, and I spent a lot of time I always say I grew up in the back room of a milk store.
Oh, I grew up in the back of a liquor store.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather had the party pack over in Clay City. I love,
okay.
Milk, a liquor.
And that tells you all you need to know right there. Okay, so at the milk store, these bottles of glass milk, I'm speaking from the 1980s, would arrive in a big refrigerated semi-truck from Chester, Illinois, and a man named Rollin, who had one glass eye, would deliver. These are the things that a little kid picks up on. You
don't forget these
We knew
things.
Rollin very well because he came multiple times a week, and he was a very nice older man, and he was always laughing and joking. And he showed me his glass eye.
Do you ever take his glass eye out?
Yeah.
Get out.
What if you have a if you have a glass eye and you're trying to impress some little kid, make them laugh? What do? You take your glass eye out. Okay. He was a great guy.
He was a great guy.
Okay.
Love you, Rollin.
Yes. So he would deliver these like different glass bottles of milk, different sizes, but to the store. And then we had a giant walk-in cooler. So the milk would be unloaded from the truck in big crates and directly into the cooler. And then our job was to take them out of the crates and put them into the shelves, kind of like how Walmart has a big walk-in cooler. And there were coats hanging all over on the walls in there. So as soon as you went into the cooler, you put on your coat.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody
gloves.
works in those coolers.
Yeah, well, you bundled up once you got in there, and then you put all of the stuff on the shelf. So even me, as a little kid, I could help out. But you never wanted to drop one of these bottles because they would break. But it was a fun childhood back there. But the thing about these bottles were that they were back then. Even the Coke bottles were you could return them for a deposit.
Yeah, I was just noticing that.
Yeah,
it says return for.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Return
for deposit.
So we had a hallway at the back of the store, and so people would buy this milk. 2 or 3. Gosh, there were big families that would buy more than that a week, and then they would drink the milk. You would rinse the bottle out. And then you would put it. We had these return carrier crates that had a little handle. They were wire crates that people would take home, and then they would fill it up with their empty bottles, and then they would carry them back into our hallway and put them back into a crate. And then they would say, "I brought in 4 bottles, 6 bottles," and then I can't remember what it was in the 80s, but I want to say they got a nickel or a dime back. For every bottle that they brought in. And it was the same way at Pure Milk Company, which is why I think this probably says store bottle, because you could return these. They reused them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You didn't throw these away. I mean, I guess you could reuse them at home for something else, but if you returned them, you got money back. And that's how it was probably up until when they closed. I didn't go into the Farm Fresh store in the late years when they closed, but I would assume it was.
Do you remember the cost? What that would have
cost?
Yeah, how much that would have cost somebody. And like so now, like everybody has Grubhub and all that stuff. You know, delivery services are back, I guess, since COVID. But I mean, did you like tip your milkman?
No, because. Well,
I wonder if people tipped their milk.
They tipped him back then. I mean, I'm talking about in the 80s we didn't deliver.
Okay.
But
let's just talk about when they were delivered.
I don't know if people tipped back then.
I don't know if they did either, but that would be a lot of work. That's heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy.
And the milkman, in every single episode that we've ever watched over the years, the milkman's all in white in his little cute hat. You know what? Kids never dress up like a milkman at Halloween.
No, they don't even know what a milkman is. Are you serious? Like if I asked my kids, they would have no clue.
Yeah.
But anyway, these are all from different time periods. So I have a collection at home. I didn't bring all of them, but I have from early ones to later ones. And this is a very recent one.
I love this one.
This is what they look like up until just not very long ago.
And I love the fact that they've got that little indention for your hand.
Yes.
These are, hard to grip. Of course, I love that. That's such a neat thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a neat bottle that is.
Yep. And you
milk at Flora Pure too,
and everyone says the Farm Fresh chocolate milk was unlike any other chocolate milk in the world. Like people would come in and just buy our chocolate milk, like it was known around town. And those stores were very successful. I mean, they really had a following, the Farm Fresh stores. People would maybe go to Walmart or IGA or wherever, Kroger, and buy all of their groceries except milk, and then come into our little store just to get milk.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why, because, like I remember back in the days when you bought bottles of soda. I wonder, I guess, why milk was delivered and, like, your sodas and stuff weren't.
Sodas probably came along later after the milk deliveries.
Yeah, they probably would have.
But at Farm Fresh, we also had the glass bottle soda, and then in that same hallway where you returned these for money, we had a section where you could put your glass bottles. So the cashier was always, how many bottles did you bring in?
Yeah. That's neat. I remember back in the day, whenever we go to Annie's Market a lot, they're on South Main, and we'd always buy, like, you'd have the six pack of Coke in the big bottles, and that was always so much fun. And there was nothing like going to, I love finding an old Coke machine with real bottles, and there's just nothing like the clank of that bottle. I don't know what it is.
My kids swear that Coke tastes better out of a glass bottle.
It absolutely does. Those you can taste the can sometimes. I don't like canned soda.
I like canned soda better than plastic bottle. I don't like plastic bottle soda.
Yeah, do you really?
Yeah, I don't. No.
I found another difference.
Okay, I'll take a can any day over.
Really?
Absolutely. The carbonation's different in a bottle.
It probably is. Well, let's take a quick commercial break, and we will come back and talk a little bit more about the Pure Flora Milk Company.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting to work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Royal King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Rural King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
And welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we are finishing up our little rendition for the Flora Pure Milk Company. The first bottles were rounder.
Okay.
It said Flora Pure Milk on it. And then they kind of made the bottles, the next bottles were still glass, and they made them a little bit more square with black writing. And what's funny about that is, so after they did the bottles, then they did do the plastic cartons. So then they got rid of the bottles, probably just for convenience. And the label on the paper cartons, they were red and white. And on the paper cartons read only floral milk.
Floral, like F-L-O-R-A-L.
On the side of the cartons. And then underneath it would say product of the Flora Pure Milk Company.
Wow.
Yeah, they also did half and half, whipping cream, buttermilk, chocolate drink, is what they called it, and ice cream.
Okay. Well, here's a story about their buttermilk. I have a story about that.
Tell me about that. I don't like buttermilk. My dad loved it.
I don't know that I've ever really taken a good swig of buttermilk. But
I don't like milk.
I was talking to my grandma Zelda DeVore about the milk company and asking her what she remembered about it, and she remembers going there when she was young with her mother to get buttermilk because she had two twin brothers, Freddie and Raleigh, and I don't remember which one she said couldn't have regular milk, so they fed him buttermilk. He could process buttermilk, but he couldn't regular milk. And
you think I don't even know what buttermilk really is.
I do not know either, but her mother decided to feed both twins buttermilk that way, just to make it easier on herself. And they had the same thing, so they would go there, a couple of times a week to get the baby's buttermilk.
My dad loved it. See, I don't know. I'm not a real big now. Of course, I'm not a big milk drinker. I'm going to drink a Diet Coke or I'm going to drink water. I just don't like. I am weird about like textures, and I just don't care for. Is buttermilk really thick? Ty's looking up something about buttermilk.
Yeah, buttermilk is thick. I'm pretty sure.
It says buttermilk is just the liquid left after churning butter.
Okay, buttermilk is the liquid left after churning butter.
Oh. That just don't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
My dad loved it. He loved buttermilk.
Must be an acquired taste. Some things are an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Like black olives. Acquired.
Ooh, I love black olives. Now, okay.
It took me 44 years to acquire the taste for black olives, but I finally did it.
I like black olives in things, but to just eat a black olive, I won't do it. But if it's mixed with other things like in salads, on pizza, I love green olives. Now, I will eat green olives right out of the jar.
Yeah, no, I haven't accomplished the taste for green olives, but I did manage in the past year to eat black olives on a salad. It actually is pretty good, and I've done it on pizza too. It's okay.
So we mentioned buttermilk. What's eggnog? Do you ever? I feel like egg because it's milky, heavy milky.
Yeah, I feel like I should love eggnog because I love Christmas so much, but I don't. Even though I was raised in a milk store, I don't really like milk that much.
I don't care. I'd rather have skim. If I'm going to just drink it, which I don't, I want skim milk because it's got that more consistency.
It's like water.
It's like water.
If I drink milk, I will have acne. Every time. It doesn't agree with my skin if I have too many milk products.
Yeah.
It shows.
I don't like it.
But I also don't like the taste of it, really. Now, my husband, when we were first married, he was like your boys. We would go through gallons and gallons of milk. I could not keep up with the milk that man drank.
And you're like, could you calm down?
Yeah. I'm like, especially now, if he's not like that so much anymore, but, milk has gotten to be so expensive. I'm like, slow down with the milk. Have a glass of water, would you?
Yeah.
But my kids go through spurts where they drink a lot of milk and then it slows down.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like So what's eggnog, Ty?
It's just milk, cream, sugar, egg yolks, and whipped egg whites.
Okay, milk, cream, sugar, egg yolks. Is that what you said? And whipped egg whites make up eggnog.
Ugh.
And then traditionally it has like some alcohol in it.
And then traditionally usually put a little alcohol in it.
Then I'm down, but ew, so you're drinking raw eggs.
I think you might be.
Yeah, I thought it was bad for you.
Well, do you ever do you know anybody that's really ever died from drinking eggnog or eating raw cookie dough?
No, I love raw cookie dough.
Me too.
I'll
There's
buy-
all these people that have this rule, like you can't. And I'm like, just do it. You're not going to die. Raise your hand if you know anybody that has ever died from eating raw cookie dough.
Well, now that I think about it,
none of you have
nobody.
your hand up. Just eat it.
Just eat it.
Good,
It's
I
so
promise.
good. Well, Jim's homemade ice cream has eggs in it. Now that I think about it, yeah, his homemade ice.
Yeah, a lot of homemade ice cream
he makes the
recipes.
best homemade ice cream.
He does. It cannot be beat.
Man.
It is so good.
It cannot be beat. It's great. So the Pure Milk Company.
Yeah.
It was built in the 30s. And then it only lasted 30
Yeah, when
years.
did they tear it down?
The door it closed its doors in the late 50s.
Oh, really?
And I don't know why the building's gone.
Well, because it was old and nobody cares. I don't know the real reason.
And it makes me so sad. Because if it was built in the 30s and it was a brick building, you know darn good well. I'm kind of remembering it a little bit.
Are you really?
Yeah, because the building didn't come down right after that. I kind of remember that being there. I was born in 67. I do remember that building, that big brick building being there. Because, yeah, I would have been born 7 years later.
Okay.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah, Pure Milk. So if you're ever at an auction, pick up the old, get you a bottle of that stuff. It's good to have.
Yeah, unless Stacey or I are there, and then don't bid on it.
And then don't even think about bidding against me. I'm telling you what, I want them to come back because I do not like online auctions.
I don't either. I love a good auction.
I want a good auction.
I saw one a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to go so bad. I wanted to call and see if you'd go with me, but we both had other stuff to do that day.
Oh, I love auctions, and I'll stand there till the last thing is sold. I don't care if it's freezing rain.
Well, my problem with auctions...
I don't care if it's 110 degrees.
And probably, my husband's exactly the same way, although he would say that he wishes I wasn't like this. But we don't like to lose. So if I see something that I want, I will bid, I will keep going.
Yeah.
Because... I don't want it to be outbid.
There was all of my years of my mom dragged me to auctions. My mom she loved them, and I loved going to auctions with my mom. And that once I got older, there was this little old lady, and she was always number one.
She got there early.
She got there early, and she was number one. And she would outbid, but there'd be times of like, I don't care. I'm just gonna turn around. I'm gonna stand.
I will remortgage my house for that quilt. All right, so back off.
That's what I told Jim one time. I went and I'm like, hey, I'm at this auction and I'm staying for this one piece of furniture and I'm not coming home without it. And he was like, okay. And he's like, oh, what was he going to say? I'm like, I'm not coming home without it. So get your truck ready, buddy, because you're going to come pick up this. It's that big old wardrobe that's in my sunroom.
Oh, yeah.
I love
that. That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah,
and I think
beautiful.
I paid $700 for it. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
I was going to break the
bank.
bank.
I'm sure the other person bidding against you was probably like, yeah, I'm not going to get it. She's determined.
Yeah, and I still got to find that one wardrobe for. But I love auctions. But yeah, I want them to come back, and I don't think I don't think people do well on online auctions. It's too much to, I don't know. I don't like it. And you know what? And here's the other thing that I'm confused on. Facebook, instead of having rummage sales, I would be so confused because they're like, oh, I'm going to post these pictures, and they're posting these pictures, and then people are like, I want me next. I would be so confused. How would you keep track?
Yeah, it can get a little messy. That's why most people don't do that for more than 10 items at a time. I think just to kind of keep track.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big rummager.
Yeah, I am. I love a good rummage
Well,
sale.
you got to get up early. I don't like to get up early. I will go if it's I haven't seen very many rummage sales.
They're a thing
lately.
of the past because of Facebook. Social media has killed the rummage sales.
Well, I want auctions back, and so we need to. And I think we're going to see more auctions string up. People just like it. It's pastime. And
I do have one more thing on milk bottles that I realized I forgot to say it when I was talking about early times.
Okay.
But the history of milk delivery started in the late 1700s. That's when they started delivering milk. But around that time, most families had their own cow, and if you were lucky, you had 2 cows. But that's kind of as industrialization started, then more people moved to the city, and not everybody could keep a family cow.
Wow.
So houses were smaller and closer together. People were busier. There wasn't any room for your cow in your backyard anymore. Because when was the industrial age? Like it started late
18, when it was industrial age.
Yeah,
the 1800s, right?
Right, but I think some of that
19th century.
started like the late 1700s,
It might
right?
have, yeah.
Some stuff, I don't know, but they date it back to that late 1700s when it started kind of creeping up where people didn't have their cows. But that's when they began to buy milk from local dairy farmers, and the first home milk deliveries occurred in Vermont. I love Vermont, my favorite state, by the way. 1785.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, and let's just talk about refrigeration back. Well, you wouldn't have had a refrigerator. Well,
you would have had an ice box.
You would have had an ice box. Yeah. Huh. That's kind of cool.
Maybe just a cool spot in your house, because if they delivered every day, you'd just be like, drink the milk in the morning, because by the afternoon it's going to be gone. I don't know.
And I wonder, and so then like, and I always wonder, like, did they, when they milked the cow, did they just drink?
People that had the milk, yeah, they did.
They just drank it right out of the.
Right. I mean, that's how Laura Ingalls Wilder did it.
I know. I knew.
People survived for years like that. That's why God invented the cow.
That's why God made cows.
That's why God made cows. Duh.
Duh.
No, but what was I going to say? Gosh, I got off on.
I don't know.
Subject,
we kind of chased something there, didn't we?
Oh, golly gee.
Yeah, that's why God invented cows for meat and milk.
Yes.
Yeah, I just, goats.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
People that owned cows in dairy farms would put their milk in those great big milk containers. You've seen those at auctions too. They're big, great big metal cans that are like this. They would pour all of the milk from all of their cows into that, put them in the back of the wagon, and then drive to the Flora Pure Milk Company or
and
whichever one's in there,
pasteurized.
and then they would sell it to them. And that's how they made their living. And then the milk company would pasteurize it, bottle it, and sell it.
And send it out.
And
Have you ever milked a cow?
Negative.
Me neither.
Yes.
I don't know if I've really been up close to a cow.
No.
I'm a city girl. What about, and then there's like goat, you ever milk?
I told you the story about my kids almost passing out when they saw a goat got milk. Like, we're not those girls, okay?
Yeah, no.
I'm not a city girl. I'm a small town girl. And
I'm a small town girl, but I'm a city,
I don't do milking.
No.
Do I believe I could? Absolutely. I can do anything.
If I had to.
If I had to, I absolutely could. I mean, they always say believe in yourself and believe that you can do anything. I totally do. I could do it.
Yeah.
I might need a tutorial, but by golly, I could do it.
Okay.
I just don't want to.
Okay, so that's going to go with our life lesson here at the end.
Okay, life lesson for today.
Anthony Robbins. You see, in life, lots of people know what to do, but few people actually do what they know. Knowing is not enough. You must take action.
Ooh, take action on what you know to do. Don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy.
Share your gifts with the world.
That's what I think.
Because I'm a firm believer in, like, God made us all different, and you don't need to know how to do everything, but everybody knows a lot about something.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody has a gift.
Everybody has a gift. Everybody has something to offer.
Use your gifts. I mean, don't be afraid. How many of our life lessons at the end of the shows have to do with failing? I mean, my goodness, Thomas Edison failed a million times, Our founding fathers failed over and over. Everybody that invented something just to get lucky the first time.
Oh, right.
Everybody's...
Yep.
You got to fail. Failing only makes you stronger.
That's right. What doesn't kill you
makes you stronger. That's right. Bravo on the bursting out in song. I am so proud. That's our show today.
Thanks so much for joining us. As always, we have a great time here on By the Way with Beth and Stacey. You can always see all of our episodes on our YouTube channel, By the Way with Beth and Stacey. And we will catch you next time.
All right. God bless you. Have a great day.